I see Jamie, but I don't hear me. Why don't I hear me? I'm not getting good output here. Hey, Cameron, talk to me.
I'm talking to you. I'm not real sure what I'm supposed to talk about.
It would probably help if I was plugged into the right audio output. That's better. Steve says he has audio, and more importantly, Steve's with us this morning. Hooah!
Holy Yeah, it still doesn't, still sounds rather abrupt. You save yourself some trouble and just hit buttons.
Okay, fair enough. Good morning!
Good morning indeed! So,
Steve spells Danny twice. It's because we've got two Dannys with us.
Yeah.
Both Poles.
One of them's more...
Positive and negative.
That's... okay. Just...
See, there are only two Dannys.
Right. You utterly derailed. I was going to make an inappropriate comment, and then you just rocketed right past mine. And yeah. So since the Fit Life with Danielle is here with us this morning, and good morning, we get a new episode today.
And despite her being negative pole, she's all positive feelings.
Again, I'm gonna let every bit of that go. So just a couple of things real quick. You know, since she says the Fit Life, there were some people in our chat that wanted to know if I got punched in the face. No, I did not get punched in the face.
You would be able to tell. It would be on this side. See, he's over here.
If I let you hit me.
Ooh.
No, but in keeping with fitness and all that happy crappy and jazzy wazzy, no, you should get your skin checked. Honestly, that's what that was. That is why dermatology is important. And if you are pale and have experienced sunburns in your life, like, that's no joke. Wear sunscreen. Like, you are not invincible. Your skin will eventually make doctors pluck things out of your face if you don't take care of it. So there's that. And yeah, so
there's no sex in the champagne room.
There's not usually sunshine in the champagne room. So
wear sunscreen.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Fit Life with Danielle, she constantly talks about, actually the episodes are beginning to really come together. There's like a format to them where there's some stream of consciousness that's kind of fun because Danny is entertaining. There's a mental health concept, and that topic varies pretty wildly. And then of course there's a workout, which is slightly thirst trappish because it's a workout. Like, what do you want me to say? And then there's a recipe. And so far, my favorite of all the recipes that I've watched her cook is the soup. I wanted some of that soup. I wanted some of that soup bad. Honestly, it was every vegetable she had in her fridge, plus some meatballs that she had made. And I was like, there can't be anything wrong with that whatsoever.
So basically a minestrone.
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a minestrone. I don't know. I'm just saying it looked amazing. And then just one other thing, dude. Georgia tried to give us a heart attack this weekend. I know you don't care, but college football fans, they cared. They watched it.
Yeah, you keep talking about college football, and the next thing you know, we'll have Cade watching every morning.
Good.
Exactly. Hey, if what we need to do is a college football segment during that season, I'm in. If that's what it takes. I can learn to pretend to respect a combat sport without guns.
So I usually work through the game.
So you enjoy football games like old men fishing.
Look, I usually work through the game, okay? But I had an opportunity to get off work in time to go watch the game. And you know the Mexican restaurant, like, you know, right around the corner from here? I was like, oh, this is going to be just awesome. I'm going to get off work and I'm going to get, you know, one of them giant ice cold Mexican beers and some nachos. And I'm going to watch the Georgia game. And I should have known when the waitress came back to me and said, we're out of Dos Equis Amber. I should have known. I should have just left.
Everything was wrong.
I should have just left.
Oh no.
Georgia still won the football game, but it was touch and go there for a minute. And for a minute, I mean all the way up through about halfway through the fourth quarter, Georgia was losing until almost the end of the game. So anyhow, but this is not a sports show, and this is not a health and wellness show.
But this wasn't like that. This wasn't like that Super Bowl where I went to take a crap and came back and the whole thing flipped over.
No, no, it was not.
Because y'all, I don't watch football. I made it a point to watch that Super Bowl, and I thought, okay, game's over. I came back like 15 minutes later. I'm like, wait, what? That's...
Yeah.
I didn't know there was overtime in Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah. Crackshot says Pacifico is the only Mexican beer I like.
I haven't tried it.
I like the Dos Equis Amber with extra lime. It's one of those that tastes better on draft, like Guinness tastes better on draft,
yeah.
And Sam Adams tastes better on draft. Dos Equis Amber tastes better on draft, and
I like the Negro Modelo.
It's okay. It's expensive, and I can never find it on draft. I've always got to get it in the bottle.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, all that. Anyhow, it's Monday.
It is,
which means this memes war.
I don't want to talk about this.
You know, I'll give this lefty meme credit. It at least accomplishes basically what it's trying to accomplish.
It does. It does.
Most lefty memes are like a wall of text and
stupid.
And without context clues, you have no idea what the point of the meme is. At least this one, it is a functional meme.
Gwyneth Paltrow's glowing dildo says that Guinness tastes better on draft. Dog turds probably taste better fresh. I'm not entirely sure where you're going with that.
I feel like it's an insult.
But,
I feel like it's when.
But it's okay. Girls drink beer too. It's okay, Dave.
No, I feel like it's an insult. I feel like in Good Morning Vietnam when they're reading the letters about how bad the replacement lieutenant is for Kronauer, and they get the one letter that says, Lieutenant so-and-so sucks the sweat off a dead man's balls, and Forrest Whitaker's character's like, sir, I'm not even real sure what this means, but I know it's bad. I feel like that was one of those comments from Dave there. Let's go ahead and flip over to the next one as well, because it's related. Uh-oh.
That didn't work.
Yes. You know what's funny? You notice how the doll doesn't have eyes?
Yes.
So therefore it can't show you where on the doll it hurts you. Okay, so if you're like one of 4 people that don't know, Lizzo, I don't want to accidentally bump that thing. Lizzo recently had a concert in DC, and it turns out Lizzo is an accomplished flautist.
You look like a fucking hostage.
Lizzo is an accomplished flautist, and who'd have thought a girl 200 pounds overweight's really good at putting things in her mouth or near her mouth or whatever. And honestly, playing one of the founding fathers' instruments on stage should actually be like a really cool thing.
Yeah, the whole historic thing, it should be very cool. It should be, it should actually be a historic thing. Nobody's played the flute, that flute, in nearly 200 years, right? It's just been an artifact.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
So it should be very cool.
But here's why it's not. People are not mad. Oh, all right, Dave. We're gonna ignore you for a minute because we actually got to do some commentary here. But that's funny, sir. But here's the thing: nobody's mad that Lizzo played the flute, and anybody who's trying to reduce this down to where black woman played flute, and it's not. And notice how they include the black woman played flute, not fat woman played flute.
Or twerking woman, or woman in grossly inappropriate attire.
Yes, exactly.
Or woman with just incredibly vulgar professional history.
Well, I'm trying to keep it down to 1 or 2 word descriptions for a reason, because it has to fit in the theme with the meme. The problem is that it's Lizzo, because I think we can assume that Lizzo doesn't have all this love and reverence for the founding fathers.
Right. And
okay.
That is the central problem. That's why it's obnoxious. And more to the point, just like a Black Little Mermaid or a female James Bond, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The point that's worth paying attention to here, it's not that people are offended by this woman making a mockery, rather intentionally and explicitly going out of her way to make a mockery of something. But that they do this with the intent of causing the controversy. This is more fan baiting, right? Lizzo did not offend people because she played the flute. She played the flute because she wanted to offend people.
Well, she played the flute and wore that ridiculous bodysuit that lets you see every fat fold, and then twerked while playing the flute, and then said that this was basically, and I'm paraphrasing somewhat, but basically this is a historic event that she played James Madison flute and twerked, and that the crowd itself was part of a historic moment. And I'm really beginning to believe that so many of these, what the drinker refers to as controversies, are just contrived. Like going back with to
controversies.
Controversies. Yes, the contrived controversies. Yes, contrivances. Okay, but going back to like the show. But going back to the show Obi-Wan. Okay, when you had whatever her name was, Moses Jones, I forget, but she's the black female Sith character that actually was the most interesting part of the show. At least that whole subplot was until.
Oh yeah, where they told us they were going to make a movie about one character.
No, they told us they were going to make a series about one. Well, we'll get to the patchworking thing later when there's more confirmation of it. But Moses Ingram, whatever her name was.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
But then there's all the racism about she's a black woman who, for the majority of the show, is a cold-hearted villain that murders her superior. And then people are like, why does everybody hate her? Are y'all watching the same show I am?
Mostly because she's not Obi-Wan, and that's the show we wanted to watch.
Right? You promised me you and McGregor would come back and play Obi-Wan, and then he was...
And then he didn't.
Well, he was sort of there. So okay, but back to Lizzo and the fan baiting and everything. I mean, this whole thing. Well, Lizzo's so wholesome and she's body positive and like what do you guys have a problem with? Like, we're talking about a woman that sells paintings of her ass.
No. We're talking about a woman who paints with her ass. She gets a canvas and she splashes paint all over her ass and then shits on the canvas. Sits on the canvas. Right.
Okay,
and
so they're paintings of her ass and they're paintings
I'm
made
aware
with
that
her ass.
Paintbrushes come in sizes, but all of Africa is not one I'm familiar with.
Well, but in this case, you're talking about a distinction without a difference. It's a painting of her ass, and it's a painting painted with her ass. So this woman that is so wholesome.
I should draw a 240 Bravo with a 240 Bravo.
If you think you could do it, but look,
I could draw a smiley face and sign it.
Anyhow,
I've seen me do it.
Distinction without a difference. Paintings of her ass.
Abstract art.
So it's not that anybody has a problem with a black woman playing a flute. It's not even necessarily that anybody has a problem with a black woman playing a historical artifact flute. It's all the additional context that goes alongside it. This is not being done with reverence. This isn't even being done as a joke. This is being done, as Chris said, it's fan baiting. It's an artificial controversy, as it were. It's deliberately being done to be offensive. And, like, you know, if you call somebody a piece of shit and then they get mad that you called them a piece of shit, it's not their fault that they got mad that you called them a piece of shit. I promise the math checks out.
Yes. Real quick, Stryker says, sorry I'm late. Head call on affidavits. Quite the morning. Are you filing for warrants from the shitter? I doff my red cap to you.
Anyhow, so serious
Stryker, no, Stryker, right there. Cultural vandalism. That's actually perfect. That's a brilliant turn of phrase, and one that we should make use of. That's exactly what we're talking about here.
She's a wide supremacist.
Cultural vandalism. The wide supremacist, that's also funny and shockingly close to true, because when you look at these fat positivity people, these pro-fat, they actually make arguments that healthy people enjoy health privilege, where they're treated better by society than people who are bigger, and that's somehow a moral calamity.
No, healthy people get treated better because I don't have to help you walk up the fucking stairs.
Right. And I'm a big dude, right? And like, here's one that was an eye opener for me. We went to Six Flags several years ago. I was about 20 or 30 pounds heavier at the time, and my kids wanted to ride the Scream Machine, and I suspected, okay, it's been a long time since I got on this ride. I've gotten big. I was concerned then that I would not be able to get on the Scream Machine because my ass was too wide. Turned out I couldn't get on it because the distance from the back of the seat in front of me to the back of the seat behind me was too short. So my fat ass could actually fit in the seat, but I was too tall to get on the ride and had to skip it, unfortunately. So that whole not fitting places thing is not just a question of your fat ass. And there is a bit of being a big fat ass that is beyond some control, but there is very little of that for the average person that is entirely beyond any of your control. And so to make the claim that it is a matter of privilege, healthy privilege, skinny privilege, et cetera, that's like making the argument that people with better jobs than you enjoy wealth privilege. and that's not fair because of all the work they did to earn it.
Well, and not only that, but we're not talking about somebody that, like, when you see those, like, women that are, like, 23 and that conveniently also is the first two numbers in their weight count, right?
And they're not looking me square in the eye.
Well, we're not talking about a woman that has had 2, 3, 4 kids and has a couple of extra miles on the machine because she's lived life.
Right.
We're talking about a woman that needs to put down the donut. Okay, you are a walking comorbidity. Okay, we are not talking about a woman who is well worn, lived life. There's even a whole subset, like, and I'm sure this is something you'll know and understand. Actually, I'm at a point in my life where I kind of want my women to not exactly be perfect.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we're moving into some delicate territory here.
I'm very, very happy with my hot young wife.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your wife.
Oh, I know. You know better.
I know she might be watching.
She will scalp your ass.
I mean, I'm just saying to act like that there's no place in society for high quality people that want to interact with you because you have a few extra pounds,
right,
because you've lived life. That ain't true at all. The reason why people like Lizzo are made fun of is because, and look, not only is she ridiculously overweight, but she gets in your face with it. I think Lizzo's brilliant at marketing. Like, I really do. I don't think I think she's highly intelligent and knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah, she's probably not going to live past 45. She's
taking a page out of Marshall Mathers' playbook. Eminem, straight up, I mean, he made songs where the primary theme of the song was, I'm rich because you're racists and you buy my music because I pander to you. And he was talking about a certain subset of black culture. And he made that point. You're stupid and you buy stupid music because you're stupid. And so I will capitalize on your consumerism and stupidity by pandering to your stupidity and consumerism.
Yes.
That's almost a verbatim lyric, I think.
Probably not, but
but that is a lot of what his music is.
Okay. All right. I think we've beat up Lizzo enough. That's probably the
I don't know that that's possible, but this. Okay. Have you seen the stuff on Matt Walsh and the investigation of what hospital is it? It's one of the big ones. I forget now, but Matt Walsh has recently done a series where they went in depth on investigating the John Hop. GPF says JHU. I forget, and it's not as important. The fact of the matter is this: the investigation showed that there are certain factors involved in this thwhole transing the children thing, where the hospitals are making excruciatingly large quantities of money, and they're very clear in their numbers that we perform phalloplasties. That's where you cut a big chunk of meat out of somebody's arm and make a fake penis for them. They perform phalloplasties because the surgery itself is extremely expensive. It requires several specialists, a plastic surgeon, a urologist, etc. So the surgery itself is extremely expensive and profitable, and the upshot after the surgery is that having had a phalloplasty or vaginoplasty, you are 100% guaranteed to require maintenance
for life,
medical procedures on that, which are expensive for the remainder of your life. Basically, you're signing up to a hospital subscription.
Yeah, like if we amputate one of your limbs, eventually that wound heals.
Yep.
Yeah, but relax, bro. We're just performing elective mastectomies, penectomies, and vaginoplasties on minors. Like, thank you, libs of TikTok. We're TikToking here. Speaking of, let's see how many of these we can get through. This one is just, it cracked me up. It's like, let's have a little humor. Do you know what a woman says when she sees a big dick?
Sorry, guys.
No. I knew you wouldn't know. That's...
Oh, God. I haven't seen these yet. Ooh. For any of y'all that missed our episode the other day where we talked about the shop teacher with the giant rack, and they even captured the big extra fake hard rubber nipples, like the big fake hard rubber nipples on the giant quadruple Z rack on that teacher tells the whole story. It tells you that it's about attracting attention. It's about making a statement, and it's got nothing to do with the mental illness. With the mental illness of gender dysphoria. It's 100% about making the claim, making the noise. Oh, storm clouds brewing, brother.
Included for its factual accuracy. This hat doesn't stand for racism, bigotry, or hatred. It only triggers yours. That is the God's honest truth.
Yes.
Like, there's a reason. My belief in meritocracy, I promise, there are 3 standards by which I want to judge a human being: performance, loyalty, and potential. Everything else is secondary to that. I don't care about your sex or your race outside of some really specific scenarios. Yes, I do want to hire women to be my Hooters waitresses. Okay,
real quick. Stryker says it turned out that shop teacher was a conservative and that he was trolling. I haven't seen anything on that. If you've got an article you can send me to that effect, Stryker, I'd love to see it.
I thought you knew.
Because I didn't know. Hang on. Before, when we covered that on the show, I said that when I first saw this, I suspected that might be what was happening. So I'm actually glad to hear that. That's I'm not sure if that makes that more or less funny.
I mean, I still think he should get fired because you can't wear fetish gear around kids.
I also would have to agree. Because, and like we covered when we talked about it, that school has a dress code that says that you have to cover your breasts. You can't have breasts or genitalia exposed.
And that's one of those things. It's like, why do you need that in the dress code again?
Right.
Anyhow, so let's
So there we go. Moving on to the next one.
Remember, the adults are back in charge.
Oh.
I wonder why Putin decided now was the time to fuck around and find out.
Because we have no more men in government?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
There it is.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
And like, it's not just a leather harness. It's a leather pentagram harness.
Yeah, look, I know. Okay.
Nice try, ATF.
Yeah. Sean Stryker says, can't woke a woker. Yes, you can't wake somebody up who's voluntarily closing their eyes. You are absolutely correct.
Watch me. Okay, what do we have here? Family is a terrible way to satisfy our desire for love and care, according to the writer and academic Sophie Lewis. The solution? Abolish it. Wow. Actually, okay. This obvious old cat lady here with her sunglasses and her glass of wine and her frown One of the things that we've seen a lot of for decades now is the result of the original feminist movement. You know, hey, you can have it all. You can be a mother and a boss bitch and whatever. And I get so tired of seeing these these motivational signs. I'm a boss bitch. Really? You can't even be positive without vulgarity. That's okay. But the result has been that these old cat ladies, they're not happy. They know they're not happy. Right? They're deeply not happy. And the more feminism wins anywhere, the less women want to be involved in that. Oh, that's a topic we could do a whole show.
Well, I mean, we're talking about biological imperatives, and one of the things that human beings have an innate desire to do is procreate. It's a thing that all life desires to do. There's the whole, I think it's Brett Weinstein's theory that evolution has geared us toward creating a world that most possibly allows for our children to succeed. And anyhow,
well, and like we covered that. But I hate you for this. The Cupid sexual thing, and that person.
Let me love our Cupid sexual friends.
That person explained that being a Cupid sexual means that I don't have sexual desires,
but I still want to have sex.
But I want to have sex. I'm like, okay, you're struggling. You're trying real hard to make yourself sound special and different, but to want to have sex. That is what we commonly understand to be the definition of the phrase sexual desire. And that's a big piece of the math for all of these lonely shitburgers. It's not that you're different. It's that you desperately wish you could be.
Yeah, like you're just gay with extra steps. I think as soon as we go ahead and click back over, I'll just say this. I think as soon as somewhere in the zeitgeist we accepted the pansexual thing, well, I'm attracted to the person. Okay, I got news for you. So's everybody else.
Yeah.
Straight people, gay people, bi people. Guess what? We're all attracted to the person. You're just bi with extra steps. Anyhow, almost there. I just thought this was pretty tough. How dare you?
I still say that Greta works for China.
No,
because when she pitched her temper tantrum, China's the only one she didn't point a finger at.
Well, they're not white. They have not stolen my dreams. Anyhow.
Okay. That's all we got today. It's actually not. We have several more memes, but we're out of time.
Right.
So y'all be safe out there. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for Take It To Him Tuesday. I almost said good night. Drink coffee. Get yourself a big hot cup and get shit done. Deuces.